hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Recently, Johnny Hardwick, the voice actor of Dale Gribble, sadly passed away. Naturally, being most known for my King of the Hill content, your boy Shady Doorags has been getting a lot of requests to make some kind of Dale-related video in honor of the man. I've got no problem doing that, though I do want to make it clear that while I appreciate Johnny's work as Dale, that's really the only thing I know him for. I don't really have a huge attachment to the guy. But a lot of y'all really wanted some kind of send-off, and I figure there's no harm in doing something like that. Rest in peace, Johnny. This one's for you. I decided reviewing my favorite Dale Gribble episode was the way to go for this one. Only one problem. I have like 4 favorite Dale episodes, and I genuinely couldn't decide which one I like more. Thus, I did what I always do when I'm too cowardly to make a decision. I passed the buck, and you intellectuals made it very clear which episode you preferred. So today we're taking a look at Nancy's Boys, probably the most important episode related to Dale in all of King of the Hill. The episode starts with Strickland Propane's assistant manager inspecting some propane and propane accessories. He notices a leak and goes into a restaurant to tell someone. A voice and some spilled sauce leads him to believe someone might be in the freezer.
Thank you, Hank. You saved my life. I've been trapped in that dang freezer since 2 in the morning. I dropped a jar of ragu and the door slammed shut while I was mopping it up.
The sun is up, which means it's at least 7 a.m. You were trapped in freezing temperatures for 5+ hours with what appears to be no head covering and no blanket for yourself? Dude, you need to call a hospital right now. You've probably got hypothermia and don't realize it. As thanks for saving his life, Mr. Winston offers Hank an on-the-house dinner for 4 the coming weekend. Since it's for 4, Hank was planning on bringing the boys so they can all have a gay old time. His mistake, however, was telling his wife about the situation.
You can't go with the guys. You will take me, and we will invite another couple to join us.
So Hank lets the boys know what happened, and they all, rightfully so, assume he's gonna take them.
Yeah, no, we don't, man. Hank, no,
We get to share a meal at the most romantic restaurant in town.
I already made the gay old time joke. And half of you didn't even catch it, did you? Hank breaks it to the boys that Peggy insists on it being a couples thing. At first they all get sad, but then Dale comes to a realization.
Wait a minute. I have a wife. We're a couple.
Me if I ever got married.
I get a free meal. I get a free meal.
It's like I personally wrote every line Dale just said. So Dale goes to inform Nancy about their dinner date with the Hills.
Sorry to interrupt your healing session. Hey, John Redcorn.
Yes. Hello, John Redcorn. Might I say, those are some mighty sus-looking pillows you got there. Nancy tries to decline the dinner invitation, but John Redcorn shockingly tells her it might not be a bad idea.
I could really use a night off.
I don't understand. Did I do something to upset you? As a patient?
Haha, it's funny because it's adultery. Okay, I'm being crass. Objectively, the cheating joke has pretty much always been funny and well executed. But personally, it was never a joke I could get behind. Yes, most jokes are mean, but this one always felt like bullying a character who didn't deserve it. Also, I don't like John Redcorn.
It's nothing.
It's not nothing.
It's just, can I take a night off?
Do whatever you want. I don't care.
This might come as a shock to some people, but Nancy is a liar. Elsewhere, Hank informs Peggy about him inviting Dale and Nancy. Peggy is none too happy because she wanted a romantic evening, and that could be ruined since the Gribbles aren't an actual couple.
Did you know she only sleeps with him on his birthday and Christmas? That's why she gets so depressed around the holidays.
Okay, I'm somewhat confused. I thought Peggy was on the same scale of prude as Hank is. Why on earth does she know that? Nice touch though, having her whisper the word sleep. So the Hills and the Gribbles head to the restaurant for their free romantic dinner. Nancy, however, has got other things on her mind.
John Redcorn, it's me.
I guess you're out enjoying your night off. Well, I miss you. I'll call you tomorrow.
Wait a second, that's not a picture of Saketa Maheda, nor is it Ken Ilganis. If any of you actually get that joke, holy crap, you really are an intellectual. Drunk and abandoned by her lover, a weird guy starts hitting on Nancy while she's alone at the bar. Turns out to be her husband.
I've never seen this woman before in my life, except in my dreams.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Wait, did I say this before? I can't remember. Well, I'm still gonna say it regardless. Sometimes all it takes for someone to be attracted to you is for you to admit you're attracted to them. It opens up possibilities in their mind that were previously closed. And while he doesn't show it all the time, Dale legitimately believes Nancy is the greatest human being on the planet, and that he's lucky to even be in her presence, let alone be married to her. Dale invites Nancy to dance, and she gets to know him a bit more.
You watch Channel 84 Action News with Miguel Hernandez?
I sort of have a crush on the weather gal.
Holy dodongos, that was smooth. If I wasn't super ultra not compensatingly straight, that might have had an effect on me.
Look at those two. They're so happy almost makes you forget their last 14 years. This place sure is special.
Hank, would you like to dance?
Oh, no thanks. I'm on my feet all day.
If honesty is the key to a relationship, that would explain why Hank and Peggy have been together for so long. The night ends with Dale having successfully swooned Nancy. Of course, it's been so long since he's done that, he forgets what's supposed to happen after.
I had a nice time tonight, Shug.
Yeah, me too. Well, good night.
The next morning, Nancy wakes up with some serious regrets. She immediately goes to wash her sheets and meets Peggy in the yard.
I slept with Dale.
Oh my God, we forgot his birthday.
Oh man, it feels good to do that again.
What if John Redcorn finds out? 14 years we've been together and I throw it all away for one night of reckless passion.
You get it? It's like the affair trope, but subverted. Peggy is actually very happy to hear about this and tries to push Nancy back into monogamy. Nancy, however, is eager to make up for her quote-unquote mistake.
John Redcorn's coming over tonight. When are you leaving for the gun club?
Your headache's back? Wait a minute. Every time I leave, you call John Redcorn. Your headaches are a desperate bid for my attentions. But what do? I pawn you off on some Indian healer so I can have my Dale time at the gun club.
Keep what Dale just said in mind. It's going to be important later.
God, I am so selfish.
Nancy, once again, sees a Dale who cares more about her than himself.
Are you sure you're not an alien? 'Cause you just abducted my heart.
Dale's cheesy line gets Nancy's engine running, and this time, she can't blame it on the alcohol. The woman is legitimately attracted to her husband once more.
Someone just had sex with his wife.
If one of my friends ever just randomly says that to me, I will punch them in the face and then proceed to run because all my friends can beat me in a fight. While Dale brags about his marriage heating up, Nancy does what the audience had to wait 3.5 seasons to see her do.
I have to cancel tonight's session.
What?
I have a headache.
Old habits die hard, I guess. Oh wait, that was a double entendre. I didn't even mean for that to be.
I can't see you anymore.
Nancy, please.
I'm sorry, John Redcorn.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
With John Redcorn out of the picture, Nancy begins to cling to Dale more than she ever has before. She insists that they make going out with the Hills a regular thing.
Nancy, I am so glad you finally took my advice.
I don't even mind doing the right thing when it's this much fun.
Ooh, that hurt. Oh, my inner lecturer wants to come out. Integrity, woman. It's a thing. Now I gotta bring out the Jurgen von Strangle clip.
You are not supposed to do good deeds because they will get you noticed. You are supposed to do them because they are the right thing to do.
See what you made me do? Nobody even likes that episode. So the Gribbles continue to enjoy their rekindled love. Nancy gets shocked, however, when John Redcorn eventually sneaks into her room.
Where are my smokes?
I think they're in the shower caddy.
What was he doing in your bed?
That bathroom door is still open. How is Dale not hearing this?
I didn't mean to hurt you.
Do you love him?
Now, you all know I absolutely detest John Redcorn, and even now, I feel no sympathy for him. However, and this is incredibly painful to say, if Nancy wanted to end things properly, she should have done a better job at communicating. As far as John Redcorn knew, Nancy still loved him and didn't love Dale. This was a mutual understanding between the two that went on for a decade and a half. Nancy suddenly breaking off the relationship without properly explaining why was going to leave John Redcorn confused, and thus he wouldn't be able to act accordingly. From John Redcorn's perspective, he probably just thought Nancy was still upset at him for wanting a night off. Now, of course, I don't care if John Redcorn's confused. I don't like that lying hypocritical scumbag. But even when you're doing the right thing, there's a wrong way to do it. Nancy breaking things off with John Redcorn without properly communicating why was doing the right thing the wrong way. I feel like I need to wash my mouth out with soap.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Dale thought they were being robbed, but seeing it's John Redcorn and hearing an excuse from Nancy, he immediately regrets his actions. With John Redcorn hurt, Nancy's nursing instincts kick in, making her want him once again. John Redcorn, however, was dumped for another man and then was attacked by said man.
I'm 36 years old. I don't need this crap.
Dale, thinking he's ruined everything between Nancy and John Redcorn, feels incredibly guilty about everything.
All he ever did was make your head feel better, and I go and make his head feel worse. It's almost ironic.
Wink, 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 wink.
Maybe I should go over to his trailer and apologize.
No, promise you'll let it go.
Dale does promise, but he immediately breaks said promise.
I know you're mad at me right now, and probably a little scared. I came to apologize for beating you up.
Such good delivery. Hardwick, you will definitely be missed. John Redcorn thinks about getting revenge on Dale, but he realizes that would be pointless. He openly laments to Dale how he pretty much has nothing. Even his attempts to get his ancestors' land back from the government have been fruitless. Dale, surprisingly, has some insight on that.
Enacted in 1966, the Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA, gives any citizen the right to request access to federal agency records or information.
Obviously, I have some personal opinions about the politics being talked about here, but they're not the focus of the episode, and I would rather not make them either. We're here to honor someone, not to argue. So Dale now has a new pet project, helping John Redcorn get his ancestors' land back. Because he told Nancy he wouldn't visit John Redcorn, Dale has to make up reasons as to why he's coming home late.
Where have you been? I've been worried.
Playing Russian roulette?
Oh, did you win?
You're not really familiar with the game, are ya?
The land project takes its toll on Dale, who starts to physically feel the burden. John Redcorn sees this struggle and comes to a realization. Dale might be loony, but he's not completely incompetent, and he does care about those around him. For years, John Redcorn has been secretly hurting this man, who's shown him nothing but appreciation and companionship. He decides to give an apology, disguised as letting go of his racial hatred.
And I would like to apologize for everything I've done to you.
Unfortunately, Dale getting caught up with his project with John Redcorn made him forget about his date with Nancy, who is taking her husband missing one appointment very personally.
Well, he's not coming. And you wonder why I need two men? One is always letting me down.
Okay, time for a little theory of mine. Remember this clip?
Your headaches are a desperate bid for my attentions.
I actually think this is true. Once upon a time, Nancy was in love with Dale, so much so that she agreed to marry him. Why? Well, we know that Dale has the highest opinion of Nancy. My headcanon is that in the early parts of their relationship, Dale spent a lot of time with Nancy and constantly let her know how much he cared about her. However, after they got married, he started paying more and more attention to his own pet projects, leaving Nancy alone for longer than she liked. We've seen in this episode that whether it's Dale or John Redcorn, Nancy is very needy and very clingy. She might even have abandonment issues. At the time of Dale getting more busy with his own stuff, in comes John Redcorn, who treats Nancy like a queen. That would be why she had the affair. Nancy's addicted to being worshipped, and Dale openly worshiping her faded over time, even if he still felt that way inside. But all it took was one night of having fun with Dale to remind Nancy why she fell in love with him in the first place. If you keep that backstory as a possibility in mind, Nancy saying one man is always letting her down holds a different meaning. Shady, are you saying that makes what Nancy did okay? You know, I don't curse, but you tempted me just now. No, I'm not saying that. I'm giving a possible reason for Nancy's behavior, not an excuse. Feeling emotionally void or not, she was still wrong for cheating. Back to the story, Peggy tries to prevent Nancy from regressing, but Nancy has had it.
The heart wants what it wants. Woody Allen.
Ooh, maybe don't take love advice from him. So Nancy gives into temptation and heads over to John Redcorn's, only to find that Dale is there. Dale explains that he's been trying his best to make amends to John Redcorn so the healer and Nancy can go back to the way things were, once again showing he cares more about Nancy than anything else.
What do you say, John Redcorn? Will you heal my wife? Please?
I'm sorry, but no. Dale, you've become a true friend, which is why it would be unprofessional of me to continue seeing your wife.
So at last, the relationship between John Redcorn and Nancy comes to an end, with a friendship between Dale and John Redcorn just beginning. And for the time being, we will pretend that Hair Today Gone Tomorrow is an episode that doesn't exist. And that was Nancy's voice, one of, if not the, most pivotal moments in King of the Hill for Dale Gribble. As I said, this is one of my top Dale episodes, even though it's technically more about Nancy than it is him. I feel that way because a good chunk of Dale's positive traits are on the forefront. His humor to the audience, his competency in unexpected places, his ability to have fun, and most importantly, his love and trust to his undeserving wife. Dale has done many things that have gotten on a lot of people's nerves, but he didn't deserve to be cheated on like he was, and it feels like this episode was a sort of apology to him for having such a mean-spirited ongoing joke. Even if it wasn't though, the episode successfully showed why Dale is such an appreciated character and why he was so pivotal to the atmosphere of King of the Hill. Rest in peace, Johnny Hardwick. You played the role well. This has been Shady Doorags. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.